I have a given.
Okay, 1 second, I'll share it.
I think meanwhile, let me start with the intro.
Yes, yes, madam, you can
Uh,
start.
7:36. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of PROLEARNZ, I extend a very warm welcome to each of you to this high impact online masterclass on public speaking and debating skills for the 21st century. I'm Dr. Shanuli Ray, founder director of PROLEARNZ, and it's truly inspiring to see participants joining us today from different parts of India and beyond. At ProLearns, our mission has always been to create learning experiences that are not only practical but transformative, helping learners break barriers, build confidence, and excel both personally and professionally. Today's session is particularly close to our vision because effective public speaking and debating are not just communication skills, they are leadership skills, life skills, and global competencies. Whether you are preparing for TEDx, international debating competitions, boardroom presentations, or even job interviews, the ability to think on your feet and speak with clarity is a game changer. I am deeply honored to introduce our esteemed facilitator for this evening, Professor Dr. M. Devendra, PhD DLit, D Science, Principal and Professor at the Oxford College of Hotel Management, Bangalore. With over 25 years of distinguished teaching and leadership experience, Dr. Devendra is not only a highly respected academic but also a mentor who has shaped countless learners across India and abroad. His remarkable contributions in education, research, and skill development, combined with his inspiring style of teaching, make him the perfect guide for today's journey. So, without further delay, let us step into this powerful learning experience. Please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. M. Devendra to lead us through this transformative masterclass. Welcome, Dr. Devendra, for yet another session. And the
Yes,
floor is
very good afternoon, madam. Thank you for introducing. I think couple of sessions, the participants will be knowing about me and my background, so there is no need of introduction in length. Is my screen moving?
yeah, yes,
Is it, is it visible?
yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Shall 7:40. One more minute, we'll wait and then we'll start the session. So before starting the session, I would like to tell that today's session is on public speaking skills and debating skills. Why I'm telling public speaking skills and debating skills are two different components of personal communication, or we call it as interpersonal communication. Why I'm telling that is, the first part is the person who speaks alone and addressing the audience, whereas the second part, debating skill, is a person who speaks to somebody else on an agreement or a disagreement. So I'll talk in detail like what are things a public speaking skill person should know, how to organize a public skill, as well as debating skills. The presentation which I have made will be very useful. I'll share the presentation also. Those who are in the beginner stage who wanted to learn about the public speaking skills, please start practicing after the session is over with the key points what I'm discussing in the session. Why? Because many people don't speak effectively in public. They may know the content, but you need to understand, analyze the content, and then speak. For that reason, I am giving you this presentation. Some many people may not share the presentation, but I am not that kind of a person. Definitely whatever knowledge is there, definitely I will share that. So to begin with, we have in this presentation 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Now, since the participants are joined little late, so 10 minutes late, that doesn't matter. We'll take 1 hour session and then go for question and answer session at the end of the session. So this session 1 hour is divided into two components. One is public speaking skills and the other one is the debating skills for 21st century. Since it is 21st century, you have to clearly know, because I've highlighted all the components which is relevant for the 21st century. So the first slide is to know the difference between speaking skill, that is public speaking skill, and the debating skill. When we talk about public speaking skill, is normally in the public speaking skill, 80% the person who speaks, 20% is the recipient and the response which we receive from the audience. So here the role of a speaker becomes very important. Whereas in a debating skill, it is 60% of the peer environment and 40% of the people who agree and disagree on a particular concept. So this differentiation one should be able to know that when we speak in a public, these are the skills which is required. When we speak in a debate or argue or disagreeing or disargument for a particular topic, that is very, very essential. So to begin with, public speaking skills. So in my presentation, these are all things which I will cover about the public speaking. That is, what is exactly the meaning or the definition of public speaking skill, the components of a public speaking, the need for public speaking, importance of public speaking, the advantages of public speaking, the skills which is required for public speaking, because many of them are not aware what are the skills which is required for public speaking. They casually talk. You're not supposed to talk casually. Then if you're talking casually, then it becomes a normal speaking, not a public speaking. So what are the different types of public speaking and where to use what kind of a conversation or what kind of a speaking, that is very important, and what are the techniques which you have to implement when you're doing the public speaking. So this will be the first part of my presentation. The second part of the presentation, I'll be talking about the debating skills. When we talk about the debating skills, the definition of the debating skills, or what is the meaning of a debate and what is not considered to be a debate. What are you gaining when you are going to debate? That's what I normally tell the students, like you have to discuss on a particular topic and debate yourself so that you will improve the communication skills. So in this component, I will be telling that what is that an individual gains when he is going for a debate or when he is participating in a debate, what is it he is going to gain? And what is the topic and what is proposition? Here proposition means a level of agreement or a level of disagreement. That also will speak in detail. And next is the timeline. When we talk about the timeline, on a particular given contest or a situation, what is that we are going to talk? That is very, very important. So based on that timeline, we have to talk about the agreement or the level of disagreement. That will be covered in this presentation. And also the role of speakers. Why? Because when we talk about a debate, it will be a short conversation or a group of conversation. When we tell short conversation, a group which agrees, a group which does not agree. So here the role of the speaker plays an important role. And also rebuttal when we talk about the individual speaker and the matter on which we are talking about, how to draw the conclusion on the particular matter. So this is what I'm going to talk in the second part of the presentation. Hope my presentation is very clear, and I'm going to talk about the two aspects. One is a public speaking skill as well as the debating skill. So to begin with, public speaking skills. When we talk about public speaking skill, people think that just talking anything is not a public speaking. We have to be very careful. Public speaking is a process or an act performed through a speech to the live audience. If the audience is sleeping or not recipient, then we don't call it as a public speaking. So audience should be very live. Live in the sense they should be recipient or to receive the ideas which is being discussed or which the spokesperson is going to deliver. This is a process which can include preparation, organization, and delivery of message that is very clear, and it should be engaging. Yeah, and why I'm telling that engaging, the complete session, either by raising the tone or falling the tone, the speaker should attract the audience so that the entire duration should be engaged with the target audience. And it can range from formal speech and informal social gathering. When we tell informal, it is not 100% informal. It is a platform which is informal to talk about certain social or exchange of ideas or thoughts about the social or cultural gathering. So public speaking is basically three components. That is the process or the performance of a speech, which the live audience is very very important, and it is a delivery of a message that is very clear where audience are engaging themselves on a particular concept, and it can be in the form of a formal speech or an informal speech. If it is a formal speech, then it can be a seminar or conference or workshop, like that, or it can be an informal talk where we gather with the society or social gathering or a cultural gathering about. And the next component is the components of public speaking. When a public speaking is there, these are the six media or six components is very, very essential. What are those six components? The first component is the speaker. The second component is the message. The third component is the audience. The fourth component is the channel. And the fifth component is the feedback. And the sixth component is the contest. Why I'm telling six components? If any of these six components are not present, then we don't call that as a public speaking. Well, what is the meaning of a speaker? When we talk about the meaning of the speaker, the person delivering the speech responsible for preparing and presenting the message. Here, message is very important. What is a message? When we talk about the message, is the main content or an idea that has to be communicated to the live audience or the target audience. And when we talk about, each point is interlinked. When we talk about the audience refers to the group of people who receive and interpret the message. How they are going to receive, they are going to receive in a particular media or a channel. When we talk about the channel, the medium through which the message is delivered, whether in person or via video or any other format which has been predetermined for that particular note or a talk of public speaking. And when once it is being delivered through a particular channel, whether it has reached the live audience or the target audience, it is understood and analyzed by the feedback. Feedback refers to the reaction and the responses from the audience, which can be a verbal or non-verbal. Always I tell that whenever you are being given a particular situation, please don't reply, don't react, respond. Here the meaning of response is you have to understand the situation. Once you understand the situation, that can be expressed verbally or non-verbally. So now non-verbally, when we talk about in the later part of the presentation, I'm going to talk about the non-verbal things, how that is going to affect the debating skills as well as the public speaking skills. After the feedback is obtained, we have to see the feedback is obtained whether it is relevant to the context of the public speaking, what is it, because sometimes what happens, feedbacks goes beyond the topic. If it is relevant to the topic, we need to discuss there. If it is not relevant to the topic, then you have to discuss at a day later or a different platform. Here the context refers to the situation or environment in which speech occurs, influencing how the message is being received. Here I am going to talk about how the message is going to receive and how the message is being perceived by the receiver. So these are the basic six components of a public speaking. If these six components, any one component is missing also, then we will call it as incomplete speaking, not even a public speaking. It is incomplete speaking in terms of the public speaking. So when we talk about the next component, what is a necessary, why we need to know, or what is that we are going to do in the public speaking? Why need for public speaking? When we tell the need for public speaking, the first one is the personal development. Here when we talk about the personal, why you have to do public speaking? Because people will tell, I know everything, I have sufficient knowledge, I have passed the information to the audience whom is required. Then what is the purpose of me doing a public speaking? The first one is personal development. Personal development comprises of three major components. That means it enhances the confidence of the person who is speaking, it enhances the critical thinking and communication skill. What is the meaning of a confidence building? Regular practice in public speaking situation can give significant change in the confidence level from one level to another level. The second one is critical thinking. When we talk about the critical thinking, preparing a good speech requires the organization of the ideas, thoughts, in a structured and a logical manner. That's what we always tell. The spokesperson was very nice. When we tell the spokesperson was very nice, that means his critical thinking in terms of ideas, thoughts were clearly structured and organized in a logical way. When it has been organized in a logical way, definitely you will get a proper outcome of the speaker. That is the meaning of a critical thinking. And next, when we talk about the communication skill, when we talk about the communication skill, what is the meaning, literal meaning of a communication skill means it includes both the verbal as well as the non-verbal communication skill. Because I always tell that effective speakers learn to articulate the thoughts. First, they will bring the thought into idea, then idea they will use it in the body language, and body language they pass in the form of a message. This is what is the meaning of communication skill. When confidence, critical thinking, and communication skills are imbibed, then we call that as public speaking will enhance the personal development. The next component is professional growth. When we talk about professional growth, public speaking skills are invaluable. Why I'm telling the word invaluable? Because it indirectly, even though there is value for it, okay, but you cannot assess it or judge it. So they contribute. What are the things which contribute? Say for example, from today 10 days I am going for 2 places for public speaking, and after 10 days the skills which you get is totally different from the 10 days which you have attended earlier. So that's what it always leads to the professional growth. When we tell professional growth in terms of three concepts, where we are majority I've given everywhere three concepts so that you can easily remember and you have to practice it. That's the reason I've given everywhere I've given three components. Here, career advancement. When we talk about career advancement, many career opportunity, especially in leadership roles, requires the ability to speak confidently and effectively. Employers value the employees who can present the ideas clearly and lead to the discussion. Here, when we talk about the ideas, the first component is idea that will enhance the career. That's the reason some of the organization there is a recruitment and promotion. Recruitment takes place internally, promotion takes place internally, so that the professional growth, career advancement can be seen in this particular aspect when the public speaking is very good. The second one is the networking opportunities. When we talk about the networking opportunity, public speaking events provides an opportunity to meet and connect with peers, mentors, and the industry leaders. Here, when we talk about the peers from whom you are learning and you are doing the job, mentors refers to the people whom you are reporting or the higher authority, and the industry leaders is wherever the requirement of an industry or you are going to work to the industry, that industry inputs also you are going to get in the form of networking opportunities. And these connections will normally lead to professional collaboration. When it is leading to professional collaboration, definitely your career will get enhanced. That's the reason we put this networking opportunity in the professional growth. And next is the influence and leadership. When we talk about the influence and leadership, there are different kinds of leadership, but whereas in public speaking skills, the effective public speakers can inspire and motivate. These two important components, I'm telling inspire and motivate, these two components are very important for a public speaker. Now, if I am a public speaker or a motivational speaker, whenever I speak, I should take these two components. I should either I should inspire the audience or motivate the audience, so that immediately after my speech they are being able to get inspiration as well as motivation to do any kind of a task which is being designated to them. So this is what is the meaning of influence and leadership. This ability is very crucial for a leadership, because I always believe that I am a leader, I am not a boss. Why I am telling I am a leader but not a boss is it involves guiding the team. Leadership means guiding the team. That leadership guiding the team makes the arguments. Sometimes what happens, you need to agree, sometimes you need to disagree. So this agree and disagree will change your leadership style in a particular organization, and hence it leads to professional growth. So these are the three components with reference to professional growth. The next is when it comes to social impact. Public speaking plays an important role in social advocacy, community engagement, and education. What is the meaning of the advocacy and activism? Because people may not understand what is advocacy. When we talk about advocacy, you You public speakers can use their platform to advocate for social causes influencing public opinion and public policy. Activists and leaders often speak about and bring the attention to important issues. Here, when we talk about issues, if there is some problem with subordinates, if there is some problem with the audience, you have to capture that and as a leader, and then you have to address it. When you address that, the advocacy and activism takes place. The second component is community engagement. When we talk about the community engagement, speaking at community events sometimes a sense of belongingness and encourages the civic participation. Here, when I'm telling the community engagement, always I will talk in terms of civic participation. That means society should involve. When you're speaking, the society should also involve. Here, engaging with community members through the speeches can promote the unity and collective action. Here I'm telling about the unity and collective action. When I'm talking about unity and the collective action, it literally means that I am not leaving anybody in the society, and I'm giving everybody the importance and taking their feedback and then improving the community engagement. And the third component is education and awareness. When I'm telling education and awareness, it has an indirect impact on the society, because an educator who speaks and a person who is uneducated who speaks has a total impact. That educated person who speaks as an educators and experts are using public speaking for what purpose? To disseminate the knowledge, and create the awareness among the various topics, whatever the topics or whatever you're going to discuss in a public speaking. What is that educators are going to do? Educators are going to disseminate the knowledge on various aspects or various topics. This contributes the society in this change or a positive impact in the form of informed, that the particular message is being communicated through the educated society. This is what is the need of a public speaking. So whenever you are going to speak, your need should cater your personal development, professional growth, and the social impact with these nine in-depth factors. The next is the importance of public speaking skills. Public speaking skills is very, very important. For what? It enhances the effective communication, it gives it professional relevance, and it has a societal contribution. And when I'm going to discuss all these three things, I'll take each point and I'll give you at least one or two sentences so that you'll understand what exactly it means. When we talk about clarity and precision, effective speakers convey their message clearly and precisely, ensuring the audience to understand their points. Because whatever the points I'm going to tell, whether I'm connecting the points, if in case I am not connecting the points, I'm supposed to repeat that and then make sure that the audience are understanding that one. This reduces the misunderstanding and enhances the effectiveness of communication. The second point is audience engagement. When we tell about audience engagement, keeping the audience lively is very, very important when you're doing a public speaking, and keeping the audience engaged is very important, crucial role in any public speech. When your speech is very successful, that means the audience are engaged completely. So how to tell this, we will see in the later part of the slide what are the different techniques, how to make the public speaking very much engaging. Example, tell some jokes, tell some story, tell some humorous element, tell some interactive element, so that people will draw the attention and they get into the topic and then they'll give their ideas. That is the meaning of audience engagement. The next is persuasion. When we talk about the ability to persuade is a key aspect of public speaking. Why? Because these speeches aim to influence the audience belief, whatever they were thinking. If you correlate that to the situation and then bring their attitudes and action in your speech, then it becomes professional and social contest. So this persuasion is very important as a part of effective communication. The second point is professional relevance. When we talk about the professional relevance, public speaking is essential in professional settings, particularly for presentation, public relations, and crisis management. Here, when we talk about presentation and meeting, many of the professional roles require presentation When they are presenting, they are passing the information or communicating the information to the colleagues or clients or the stakeholders. When we talk about the stakeholders of any segment of the any industry, example, if it is a college, if it is an industry, all the stakeholders are getting the messages from that. So that is very, very important when you're doing the presentation. And an effective public speaking skill ensure that these presentations are very clear, engaging, and impactful and meaningful. These all four factors should be there when you're doing a presentation. The next, when we're talking about the public relation refers to managing a company or an individual public image, often involves public speaking. When in the public speaking, you are supposed to deliver the statement. When you're delivering the statement, again the statement will be three forms. Either it will be in the negative form projected, or it will be in the assertive form, or it will be an interrogative form. So when you're doing these three things, cite that to the audience relevance and then bring the attention, then definitely you are a good PR. So that's the reason when we are telling handling a media requires inquiry and inquiry. Inquiry is asking, inquiries whatever you have been asked, does it exist there? If it is existing there, then you will get a public relation properly. The next is crisis management. When we talk about crisis management, during crisis, clear and calm communication is very, very essential or very vital or very important role. Why? Because if it is clear and it is not calm, we cannot handle the situation. And if it is calm and it is very ridiculous, it is not planned, then also it is not. So crisis is not defined in terms of two terminology. Either it will be, the crisis is defined in two terminology. Either it will be clear or it will be calm. If it is clear and calm, then you can handle the crisis very good. So public speakers must provide accurate information and reassure that information once or twice in the speaking, and guide those thoughts or ideas which is being spoken in an effective manner to understand the situation. Then it becomes a proper crisis management. The third component is the societal contribution. When we talk about the societal contribution, public speaking contributes to societal development through civic participation, education and training, and cultural preservation. Now everybody knows what is the meaning of a civic participation. When we talk about civic participation, public speaking encourages active participation in the democratic process. Why I'm telling democratic process? Even the listeners can give their view and take their view and try to imbibe that in your presentation, even if it is not pre-planned. At the spot on extemporary, you take their points, imbibe that to your presentation skills, and try to speak that also by considering the inputs given by the audience. Then it becomes a civic participation. So normally civic participation will enhance not only the speaker, it enhances the community development. So second one is education and training. When we tell about education and training, your education and training means teaching. Teaching at a basic level is training. Teaching at a higher level is teaching. So you have to make sure that you give training. Why I am telling that training is, when we talk, teachers and educators use public speaking. For what they use? To enhance whose experience? The audience experience. What they have learned, what they have not learned, what they know, what they don't know. So effective teaching involves clear communication, engaging the presentation, and ability to inspire the audience or in terms of a students. If it is a public, then you can tell audience. If it is a public speaking for the students, you can tell students. The next is cultural preservation. When we talk about the cultural preservation, public speaking plays a role in preserving and promoting the cultural heritage. Why I always give the more importance to cultural preservation whenever we are doing public speaking, because when I speak, I always represent my own culture. This is the cultural background where I am coming from. I narrate the stories. In the public speaking, when you are narrating the stories, exactly the story should be from your background. Like example, a storytelling by a speaker. or an historian narrating the story, or cultural leaders bringing the cultural impact. Then speeches in order to share the particular tradition. Example, 10 years back, Dasara was done like this. 10 years back, Navratri was done like this. But now the Navratri is going to change. What is that change which you are going to see? Earlier, Dandiya used to happen only on selected places. Now, Dandiya has been encouraged at all the places to promote the culture. That kind of public speaking, which also imbibes the cultural preservation in terms of the history, culture, and their values, plays a major role with reference to the cultural preservation. The next component, these are the three components, and sub-components, there are 9 components. Wow, what is the importance of the public speaking skill? The next is the advantages of the public speaking skill. Why we have to speak public? What is necessary to address the gathering? When we are telling the addressing of the public, what are the major plus points a speaker gets? What are the plus points the society gets? So that is classified into 3 categories. First is personal benefit, second is professional benefit, and third is social benefit. When we talk about the personal benefit, it is self-esteem. When we talk about the self-esteem, successfully delivering a speech can boost the self-esteem and the confidence level of the speaker, providing a sense of accomplishment that he has fulfilled certain criteria, so he is educating the society, or so he is upgrading himself. That becomes a self. So example for this is overcoming the fear of public. Now first speech mine may not be very effective, but the 10th speech of mine will be very effective. So it enhances the self-esteem, as well as one's individual public speaking will lead to greater self-confidence rather than the self-confidence. The second one is networking. Networking, when we talk about the speaking at events, allows the individual to meet new people and expand their professional and personal network, and these connections can lead to networking and collaboration. Sometimes what happens in a public speaking, though you have the idea, you may not be able to exchange with somebody, but if you collaborate or do the networking, then definitely your public speaking will enhance. This is advantages of public speaking. And when we talk about problem solving, public speaking often involves addressing the questions and concerns from the audience. This helps to develop the problem solving skills as a speaker, learn to think on their feet, and provide the clear cut, crystal, thoughtful meaning and the responses. Here, when we tell clear cut, crystal meaning, that itself means the problem or of a given situation is being solved. So that is the reason we always tell that 10 times you speak publicly, you will be able to solve your problem on your own. So these self-esteem, networking, and problem solving comes as a part of personal benefit. When we talk about the professional benefit, the professional benefits, when we talk about, it always talks about your profession or the workplace. In the workplace, the public speaking skills can enhance the first major quality. When you are doing a public speaking, it enhances the leadership. It is not that leadership means it should be an head of the department or a head of the institution or head of the union. It is always a leadership when we talk about when you're addressing something, you're taking the responsibility and you're giving the authority to the audience. That is very, very important with reference to enhancing the leadership, especially with reference to professional growth. That involves 3 components: leadership, career opportunities, and professional recognition. When I'm telling the leadership, effective communication is a key leadership quality. If your communication is very clear, then you become an effective leader. Public speaking skills enable the leaders to articulate or disseminate the vision, mission, motivate the teams, and navigate the challenges. Whatever they are going to face the challenges, for everything, if a leader is having a solution, then he becomes a leader. And if a leader does not have a solution, then the leader will become a boss. He will tell that, why you have not done this work? When I have given this work, why you have not completed this work? Asserting this type of questions, if a leader is doing, the leader becomes boss. And boss is not the present scenario which we need. For every group, we need a leader, and leader will navigate the challenges. That's the meaning of a leadership. And next, when we talk about the career opportunities, the professional recognition and career opportunities are interlinked. Many job roles especially in management and leadership, requires the public speaking skills. Being a confident speaker can open the doors to promote new career avenues. Example, now if you are working in a 10 in a group in a people where 10 people are working and you one leader is there, sir, whenever I'm telling this person is not obeying or not understanding my thing, can you just tell him? Example, if a leader comes and tells that you are supposed to do this, immediately that work gets done, and after work is being done, sometimes he may get promotion. So this is what leads to career opportunity, that leadership should have a public speaking skill in an effective manner. The next is professional recognition. When we tell about professional recognition, individual who excels in public speaking after gaining some kind of a recognition and respect in the individual field. Example, see, now sympathy component is gone, you have to come as an empathy. Now example, if you're working as a supervisor, a manager should come down to supervisor level and understand the problem, and then he should navigate the challenges, then he becomes a successful leader. Similarly, in an institution, a principal should not be as a principal, he should come down to the level of that lecturer or an head of the department, and then he should be thinking, oh yes, if I do this, what will be the outcome? If you understand like that, definitely there will be a professional recognition. That's the reason sometimes many of them ask me, why you are so simple? I said, I am not so simple. People are making me simple. Why? Because I am coming down to their level. When I come down to their level, they can execute things better, so I have to come down. Once the execution of thing is done, then I will be as a normal person itself. There is no difference much about it. So the third component, the third advantage of public speaking skill is social benefit. Public speaking can foster the community building, and also it can promote the cultural exchange. Yes, I'm talking more about the social benefit. So let me speak how a community can be built through the public speaking. Public speaking events can bring people together, fostering a sense of community and shared purpose. Speakers can address the community issues and also get the collective ideas and action and promote the social discussion. When you are going to promote the social discussion, definitely the local community or the community is going to be very strong, and when community is very strong, the community building will take place. Then it is advocacy. When we talk about the advocacy refers to speakers can use their platform to advocate a social justice, environmental protection, and other important causes. Why I'm telling other important causes? We are talking about the social benefit where the community is going to get benefit, which will create an awareness and mobilize their issues to be solved through the leader, not through somebody else or not through the peer. So that's the reason, even if a group of two is there, if the two group is being led by one particular leader, if a member of two is led by one particular leader and two members follow that leader, definitely there is an advocacy. Then advocacy will lead to the cultural societal changes, which improves the public speaking of the members as well as the leader. Then the third component is the cultural exchange. When we talk about the cultural exchange, public speaking events can promote the cultural exchange and understanding. Speakers from a diverse background, and when they are from diverse background, I would like to emphasize on the word diverse background, because diverse includes many things. So when you're telling about many things, that's the reason sometimes, always I quote my experience or I share the experience. When we share the experience, people will think that my experience, if it is their experience, what will happen? So then they pursue the things. When understanding the things from the other's perspective to their individual perspective, then things can work out very easily. So the leaders, sometimes what happens, or the speakers from the diverse background can share their experience and enrich the audience knowledge, and after enriching the audience knowledge, they get appreciated themselves, and they tend to do a different work or a different kind of the job satisfaction what they get. So these are the basic advantages. I'm not telling any particular book or anything which is going to happen. I'm just telling from the societal concept that when you speak publicly, you will get personal benefit, you will get professional benefit, you will get social benefit. This is just a common terminology. It is not taken from any source or chat gpt or something there, because when you search it in chat gpt, you may not get all these things with a clear cut definition. Okay, the next is, what are the skills which we require? Say that, sir, I am ready to do public speaking skills. So what are the things which I need to know before I am going to start speaking to the public? When you are telling that that the skills which are required. Yes, skills I have given, I think the skills I have given as 5 skills. The first is content preparation, the second is delivery technique, and third is audience engagement. The fourth is overcoming anxiety, and fifth is the technical proficiency. When we talk about the content preparation, whenever a public speaking skill is being given, there are many people, like, they don't require any kind of preparation. Example, see, this topic was given to me. To be frank, this PPT I prepared this morning only, when I was having tea in the particular morning. One conference was there morning. During the tea break, I thought, okay, let me put this idea in the form of a presentation. So there are people who requires lot of time to prepare. There are people who don't require, they know the content, they'll prepare accordingly. So when you're doing the content preparation, first thing is, you research on a particular theme. Whatever the theme is given to you, you research on a particular theme. Once the researching is been done, organize the thoughts and ideas properly. When you organize the thoughts and ideas properly, you will be able to communicate it. What is that you're going to communicate? Please write it down and then try to communicate it. Because writing here means not literally writing down. You have to just only take the points. I always tell that my speech, when I am going to speak, I am not going to write. I am going to craft the speech. Here, meaning the craft the speech means the words which I'm going to use should be relevant to the topic which I'm going to speak. And when I'm going to craft the speech, my language should be so simple so that the audience can understand. And the language, when we talk about in English, the tone is also very, very important. Have you seen me? The tone, sometimes I'm stressing, sometimes I am raising, sometimes I am falling. The tone and the style is also very, very important when you're going to do the content preparation. The written content is not important. How you are going to the written content you are going to deliver to the audience, that is very, very important. The next is delivering techniques. When we tell about the delivering techniques, this plays a very important role. Why? Because always I will not have a uniform speech. I cannot tell A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Why I'm stressing that, in the form of a falling tone and a raising tone is your vocal variety is very important in a public speaking. That use a different pitch, use a different tone, use a different volume wherever it is required. Now itself I'm using, if you can see that how I'm using, vocal variety is very important. Why vocal variety is very important? Because you can stretch on the tone, on the pitches, and the volumes. What is that volume? When I'm telling volume, initially the speech might be very high tone. In the middle part, it might be lower tone. And again, I wanted to emphasize on a particular thing. Again, I will raise my pitch. This kind of up and down variation should be there in the vocal. That's why we call it as vocal variety. So your delivery technique cannot be in the same pace like a tape recorder or a song, like, going in the same pace. That will not enhance the public speaking. And that public speaking, whenever you're doing, not only raising the pitch of the tone, or the intonation of falling tone and the raising tone, you should also give the gestures and the facial expressions. Now I am doing online, so you may not be able to see my gesture, but normally when you do an offline training or offline public speaking skill, your gestures, your facial expression, your postures can directly affect the public in terms of the content. The next is the eye contact. Maintaining an eye contact with an audience helps to build the connection among the audience and shows the sincerity of the speaker in involvement of the audience. So when you're delivering, these three things are important: the vocal variety, the body language, the eye contact, and yeah, body, these three things. Okay, next is audience engagement. When you're telling audience engagement, I've clearly told in the beginning itself, there should be a proper engagement in the audience. How to engage the audience? Narrate a story. When you're telling storytelling, you use the stories, use some kind of illustrations. That illustration should be practical in nature. When you're using the illustrations and practical in nature, that becomes more memorable. Example, when you give an example and then discuss some concept, that concept may not be understood, but the examples will be beautifully understood. So that kind of engagement is very, very important. When you're delivering the content, you also discuss and give me the idea. What happens that time is they'll try to involve the audience, try to engage themselves. So interactive technique is important in the form of you do some activity, or you ask questions, or you go for discussions, and keep them engaged and interesting. Here interesting should be there, also you should be engaging. That is the interactive technique. The next is adaptability. When we tell adaptability, there are some points where audience also tells, you immediately take that point and bring it to the speech. And when you bring it to the speech, you should be able to adjust. You should be able to adjust the speech based on the audience feedback, and their reactions should also synchronize and rhythmize to your body language. When it is synchronized and rhythmic to your body language, definitely that speaker, the public speaking, will be an outstanding speaking. The next is to overcome anxiety. When we tell to overcome the anxiety, it is normally involved in preparation, practice, and mindful techniques. Here, always thorough preparing is required for the speech, which helps to increase the confidence and reduce the anxiety. What is that I'm going to speak? Oh, I don't know this topic. Why am given me that topic? No, this will be removed only if you have proper preparation. So if you are having proper preparation, the preparation through this for the speech will help you to communicate properly, have a self confidence, which will reduce the anxiety. The next is practice. Regular practice makes the speech easier and more natural. When we talk about narrating the story or examples, find out that when you're narrating the story and examples, please speak to that point only. Then you will be able to be an effective speaker. Then mindful techniques. Here, mindful techniques, when we talk about, you should give an idea in terms of visualization. That visualization should have an impact on the audience mind, and that mind should be a reactive, receptive, the ideas which you are going to give. Now, example, all parrots are not green. Immediately, or the audience will tell, oh, parrots? Yes, yes, parrots are not green. That kind of mindfulness technique, you should narrate an example. That is the meaning of mindfulness technique. When we talk about the technical proficiency, a technical proficiency plays an important role in the public speaking. Though you have a good voice or a good throat, only that cannot enhance the public speaking. Public speaking, the technical proficiency is in the form of three things. First is use of a visual aids. Always visual aids should be used. Here I am also using the visual aids where I am given the written content. Sometimes people will give the images. When you are using the images, you cannot narrate the things, because the diversion takes place by seeing only the image, because you will not listen to the speaker. That's the reason, if you have seen my presentations, I will not use more of images. I always use the more of sentences. I believe that the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation is only a tool. The way in which you speak should be very powerful, rather than having powerful images or powerful points. For powerful points should come from your falling and raising tone. The point should become powerful. So that is very, very important. So usually visual aids, please minimize it. If you can use in a presentation, you can use only up to 20 to 25%, not more than that. Don't create full 100% visual aids and ये देखो भैया, ये देखो बच्चे, ये देखो भैया क्या है. Like that, if you do, nobody is going to get attracted to that. Your voice should be very powerful and pointful. Okay. Next is microphone handling. Properly use the microphone, especially when the public speaking. Even you are telling something, and if your distance of the phone is not clear, that also will affect the complete picture. That's the reason always when we go today, also in the morning when I'm speaking, I said good morning, good morning. It's not that I'm wishing them. I was just checking the mic, whether the mic is working or not. If the mic is working, I can listen the good morning properly. Then I finally said very good morning to once again everybody, and then I adjusted that mic, whether that audience is able to listen my voice through the mic. So microphone handling is very, very important, especially when you're going to speak. much content you can give so that your time is being effectively used. What happens immediately? Exactly at 8:45, maybe all, not all the participants, few participants, oh, 8:45, sir is going to stop or not. Immediately, that mind pricks that one. So try to do the presentation in such a way that you can finish by 8:40. Okay. So this completes the public speaking skills, the skills which is required for a public speaking. Okay. The next one is that what are the different types of public speaking, because people think anything you speak in an open gathering is a public speaking. No, I have taken interest and classified the public speaking into four categories. The first one is ceremonial speaking. That is ceremonial public speaking in the form of you're addressing some issues or you're going to address some gathering in the form of a ceremony. Either it will be a birthday or a wedding or a get together or an annual day or a college day. That becomes ceremonial public speaking. Next is demonstrative public speaking. When you're telling demonstrative public speaking, your physical involvement is also very important. Example, if you're demonstrating something to the students, you have to speak and you have to demonstrate. So that becomes cooking or tutorial type of public speaking. The next is informative public speaking. These political people will go and do the speeches. No, sometimes this becomes more informative and sometimes it becomes persuasive also. That means they are going to dominate something. So when you are giving an information through the public speaking, it can be in the form of a lectures or seminars where the knowledge is disseminated to the audience and the knowledge is accepted, then we will call that as a lecture. Example, if you're going to a students and telling that these are the things which I'm going to do today. Oh, no, ma'am, no, sir, this is already been covered. Then, that will not become a public speaking because it's not informative in nature. When it is informative in nature only, that the public speaking will be very effective, especially in terms of lectures or seminar. Then persuasive public speaking is sales presentation or political speech. And these are the things which is going to happen. These are the things which you are going to get benefit. These are things, predictive in nature. When you, say example, sales presentation. When you take up this car, these are the facilities you are going to get. We don't know the facility. We are only assuming what are the facilities. When you talk about that kind of a speaking, that is known as sales presentation or political speech. These are the different types of public speaking skills. What are the different techniques of public speaking skills? Understanding your audience is very, very important, especially whenever I do any kind of a speech. Understanding the audience. Who is the audience? Whether the audience is in position to receive. If I'm not able to understand my audience, what is the use of going to speak? So understanding here the audience is in terms of demography. Here demography means when a particular component you are going to address, see their age, sex, which background, which language you are going to address. That is very important. Demography, interest, the knowledge level, and their expectations from this speech. What is that they are going to expect it, or whether it is being covered or not. The next is preparation. Preparation and organization plays an important role in the technique. Why? Because if you are not prepared to speak, please don't speak. You tell that I cannot speak. I can only advise offline, one to one. When you're doing a public speech, always preparation and organization is very, very important. So that is involved in the form of four things: research, introduction, body, and a conclusion. Here researching is before talking, introduction is during the talking, body is during the talking, and conclusion is during the talking. And next is developing a strong opening. I always tell that before we start anything, what is that you're going to talk for 45 minutes? You highlight clearly and tell. In this today's presentation, I clearly told that what is a public speaking skill, what is a debating skill. The two components I have differentiated. I'm going to teach you the two components. If you can explain that, you explain it that way, or give some quotes given by famous authors. Then you try to explain or give some thoughts, which is a thought-provoking ideas you will be getting. So that you can do by developing a strong opening. The next is effective body language. These are the techniques. Please implement these techniques when you're doing a public speaking skill. Then you will become an effective public speaker. Effective body language refers to the gestures or facial expressions or a posture or an eye contact. Now, example, when I'm talking here in the screen, I can see Asma, I can see. She is patiently listening what all the top points I'm going to tell, whether these points, whether I know or whether I don't know, that kind of, The contact should be developed. It can be face to face or it can be online. Even if it is an online also, sometimes video may not be there, but still one side video, yes, I can understand that whatever I'm going to tell, she is in a position to receive or accept it. What is that which I'm going to tell? That is very important in terms of an effective body language. So these four important techniques will be improving the public speaking skills. Next, the second component of my presentation, this is very simple. Public speaking is very high, which have given you the inputs is very high, whereas debating skills I have giving you at a lesser content or a lower content. What is exactly the meaning of a debate? When we tell a debate is formalized public speaking. You understand what is the meaning of formalized public speaking and debate? Because public speaking is a broader terminology. In that, one concept is debate skills, in which participants prepare and present a speech on opposite side of an issue. Here I have given three examples. When I'm coming to the examples, that time you will understand why sir was telling this concept. Okay. What is not to be considered as a debate? Example, if somebody is shouting on some issue, example, go to Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. If somebody is arguing on a particular component, we don't call that as a debate. We will call that as a shouting. So that is not a debating skill. So we have to understand, when a person is telling something, it should be sensible and it should be true and original fact. If these four factors are there, then we will consider it as to be a debate. Debate has a strict rules of conduct and quite sophisticated arguing techniques. Example, now I am telling that X, the person who has told X is valid point, but however, I am going to deny certain concepts. The concepts which I am going to deny, I have a justification for that, and I would like to bring this justification to Mr. X and clarify that. Then, when you provide that clarity and clarification and presentation, then you defend that topic. Not by telling, no, I cannot agree for what you're telling. What you're telling is utter waste. If you tell, then it becomes shouting. It is not a debating. So you have to understand exactly what is the meaning of a debate and what is a public speaking, at what level the public speaking becomes a debate. Next is, what can debating do for you? What is it? Always people will tell you do debate, charcha spardha in Hindi, if you call it as, when you're doing that, what is the benefit you are going to get? One is you will get, it cultivates the leadership skills. That's the reason this debating skill or group discussion has been always given to the graduates when they are being employed, to see how the leader skills, what type of leadership skills are there in the graduates. They may not become leader, but still they want to test that. So it cultivates the leadership skills. It consolidates your investigation and analysis. In your investigation analysis means 10 people will be talking different views. The 10 people different views, you need to understand, analyze, summarize it, and you give your view without affecting both the ideas, either positive ideas or the negative ideas. That's what we always call in a proposition, not preposition, it is proposition of a debate. We need to accept something, we need to reject something. When we are rejecting, give the valid excuse. When you are accepting, is appraise it on an appraisal contest. So that's the meaning of the second point. You should be, you will be getting your investigation skills and the analysis skills. It trains your critical and listening thinking skills. It enriches your the open-mindedness. It equips with better organizing and speaking skills. It builds your self-confidence. It boosts your teamwork, because if your 10 people are there, for example, A, B, C, D. I agree according to the A, what he is going to tell, and B has told this thing, and C is not agreeing for this, and D is also not agreeing for this. Hence, I come to the conclusion. That kind of a debating, if when you're putting that means it will enhance the teamwork. That enhancing the teamwork will enhances the cooperation ability of a person who is speaking or debating in terms of leadership. The next one is, it provides you the fun with match with the competition. Sometimes what happens, if you don't agree, the speakers will, oh, he's not agreeing at all, what to do. So when you take it in a fun way and try to be passive, don't actively react it. Be it in a passive reaction. Passive reactor, if you become, that is also one point of a debate person. Next is, what is a topic? Topic is, in a debate, topic is very important. Why I'm telling topic is very important is, the topic is something which you're going to argue. They are the often current issues of the public importance. Example, the beauty is better than the brains. This I always uh, I don't agree for this, because there are some people, beautiful people who don't know anything, but still they have been presentable in front of somebody. So people will take them. So after taking them, they might realize whether it is correct or not. So why I'm telling that is the topic should be very clear. Here, the topic is divided into two categories: affirmative topic and a negative topic. No topic is affirmative, no topic is negative. But the team which agrees the topic is called affirmative. The team which disagrees the topic is called negative. So now we have to divide the team. In the debate, we have to divide the team. How are we going to divide the team? Well, the team which agrees, affirmative. The team which disagrees, negative. So that is very, very important based on the topic. The next, what is a proposition? The debate begins with the controversy expression in the proposition. Proposition is what? A proposition is a statement that asserts the fact and makes the value judgment or recommends a policy. Yes, I agree to this person. I would also give this input so that that point can be taken. A proposition must deal with a controversial question. One has a valid evidence for both the sides to argue. Example, if you are accepting it, tell the reason. If you are rejecting it, tell the reason. If your proposition is uniform, then we can consider that particular debate person is very good. Even he takes the negative ideas but puts in a positive note, and then whichever is relevant he takes. So proposition becomes a very important thing, where proposition will take both the affirmative and the negative topic of the given situation. The timeline is very, very important. You can't keep on talking. When a time is being given, according to the time, you have to justify and tell that why the topic is true, why the topic is false. Give some time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Come to the conclusion. If you give whole day, you cannot come to the conclusion. So timeline is very, very important in a debate. The next is role of the speakers. Role of the speakers is very important in a debate competition or a debate speaking skill. Why? Because first is affirmative. Affirmative person should, what he should tell? Define the topic, present the affirmative team line, outline the idea, what each speaker is going to as told, and present the case or the topic in affirmative. The same person, okay, the first negative, how are we going to accept? For example, if it is negative, either accept or reject the definition. If you are rejecting, give the reason. If you are accepting it, give the reason. Why I'm telling is, negative things always when you're projecting it, give a valid reason and a solution. Positive thing, we blindly consider, yes, I agree and I consider to it. But when you're rejecting something, there should be more number of justifications rather than just blindly rejecting it. This is happens with the first thing, first point. Same thing can happen for second also. Second affirmative means, sometimes, yes, first point was okay, but the second thing I am not accepting it. Second thing, I am accepting only few of this. When I am accepting few, then take it as a second affirmative and second negative. I've given here in three contests, because sometimes what happens is we will get 30 minutes for a debate competition. So you will be given 3 rounds. So this first affirmative, first negative, second affirmative, second negative, third affirmative, third negative. I have just given you in these three situations. Why? Because one is for the affirmative, the second is for the negative, and the third one is to ascertain whether it is affirmative or negative and then come to the conclusion. Out of three, we take one, the result. That's the reason I've given the three situations. Okay, but what is the meaning of rebuttal? Rebuttal, when we talk about after accepting the first situation or the second situation or the third situation, you should come out with the logic, pick the important points and deliver it properly. That is very, very important, because in debating, each team will have so many things. When that so many things, so many points are there, you should be in a position to bring it in a simplified manner. That simplified manner of presentation is known as rebuttal in debate competition or debating speaking skills. The individual speaker is very important, that you thank all the individual speaker for their ideas. Either it is positive idea or negative idea. There are many techniques that each speaker can use in their speech, but there are three main areas which you need to concentrate. That is the matter, the method, and the manner. Matter is what he has told, the way he has told, and the presentation manner. the way in which he is told is we need to accept the way in which he is told. No, the method what he is told is correct, but it was not in a presentable way. When you tell it is not in a presentable way, that manner, we call it as, in debate, we call it as 3M. What is that 3M? Matter, method, and manner has to be implemented properly by a speaker when he is going to speak in a debate competition. But that is not applicable in case of a public speaking skill. Here matter, I have given one or two examples to justify that. Anyway, I am sharing the presentation. Matter is very important. To conclude, the manner is very, very important. Here manner, when we talk about, manner is how you present, what do you say. There are various aspects of manner that you need to be aware of. Always you have to be very careful, the manner. Here, cue cards. What is cue cards? I don't know. Many people know this concept of cue card. Cue card refers to something which is written when a particular person is been presenting and you wanted to convey the idea. That conveying of the idea is written in a piece of a paper, and that piece of paper is either directly given to him or directly reflected to him, so that that will disturb the eye contact. Then eye contact will disturb the voice. Then the voice will affect the body language, and you have to overcome the nervous habits, and you need not use always a bigger words. Try to use a smaller words, so that the smaller words can lead to the proper conclusion. So especially when you are concluding it, take three aspects: manner, method, and the matter. In this manner, method, and the manner plays an important role, and try to come to the conclusion what manner he is going to present or he presented. Based on that, I have come to the conclusion telling that this can be accepted or this can be rejected, and these are the reasons. Like that, you need to close the debating speaking skill. So what I would like to specify, especially with reference to debating skill, is the debating skill is don't spend your debating life worry about the numbers. Why I am specifically telling is debating should arise when there are three: positive, negative, and neutral. Then only an individual performer or a debater can come out with an idea. So with this, I conclude. Exactly, it is 8:41. So 1 hour I have taken the for present. Normally, I keep on my time with reference to presentation. So thank you one and all for your patient listening. This is my email address. And thank you from my side. I am principal and professor at Auto Management College. So exactly 1 hour over. If you have somebody has observed the time, but I have observed the time. We started at 19:42. Now the time is 20:42. So half an hour time or 20 minutes time, we can have a discussion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And now it's a open forum. So
You can see
everyone,
my background. I'm in a room at a hotel. And that's the reason I did not switch on my camera. So if anybody wants the clarification or either positive note or a negative note, you can. This is only a brief idea I have given. So when we teach for a training skills or a public skills, no, I go in depth. An example, when you tell body language or eye contact, I'll tell this is the way you have to see, this is the way you have to present yourself. That kind of training we need to give to the students of the present generation to overcome. So anybody who wants to give any kind of input or idea can give their, either you can give the opinion, or you wanted to ask something, you can ask. Whatever I can answer, I will answer. The forum is open.
yes,
Please.
please, you can share your feedback or anything you want to add here, or those who are those students, if you have any query, please you can directly ask, sir.
Anything is there to ask?
Any query, any question?
If you don't want to ask, at least what you understood, you want to tell any compliments, you can tell. Not at all. Because today in the morning speech also they were asking, sir, how is that exactly you are managing the time? And you don't give a break in your speech. You continuously speak, but there is connectivity in the speech. So I don't know, that is my nature. Whenever I do any kind of speeches, I have that raising and falling tone, but I keep connectivity. If I don't give the connectivity, I cannot conclude the speech. That's how I told, and every entire crowd, they stood for mostly 5 minutes, and thanked that the way you spoke is very impressive. So this, since it is an online, I am not able to do that thing. So whatever I have done is my best.
Ma'am, good evening, sir. I just am Divya Sinha. I just want to talk. Want to relate something. Means
Yes,
when you're saying about debating,
yes,
I teach this 11th standard. So in that we have the writing skill as the debate and speech. So
yes.
we use the words as for and against, right? So
Okay.
now you said instead of that, if we are using the words affirmative or negative. So is it
Yes,
fine
yes.
if I want to change that? If I want to say, okay, instead of using for and against, we'll be using these ones right now. So can I
You
use
can
it in
use,
that, sir?
yes, yes, you can use it as affirmative and negative. No, no issues.
No issues. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no
It was
issues.
really
You
very
can
nice
use. And
session, sir.
also one more thing. See, since you told debate or speech, have you differentiated the debate and speech
Yeah,
to the
yeah. I have.
students?
Yes, yes. I have differentiated, but
Okay.
only the thing is, I just remember that we are using the words for and against. It means it's a like a
No,
conversation.
no,
Like
no, don't use for and against. Why I'm telling that is
yes,
against means it's a political word.
word, right.
It is a political word. That's why in
Right.
my whole presentation I have not used for or against.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah.
example, I like a particular person means I like the person. You should tell. You cannot tell I watch for this person and I don't watch that person. You can tell, but you cannot tell I
Oh,
am against that person. When you use that
oh,
language against is a political word which we
okay.
cannot use it. You so instead of
Right.
that you can tell affirmative and negative. That's what I'm telling you. A team which agrees, a team which disagrees.
Disagrees,
Disagree
right.
on the topic. That's all. They are
That's
mutually,
all.
as a person, as a friend, they are okay. Only on the
Right.
given topic. But when you tell, now example, you take Divya and you take Daniel. Okay. You can tell that Divya is for and Daniel is against means the entire damage Daniel will
Yes.
get. No? So
Right,
that
right,
we should not use it in the classroom.
right, right. Actually, the session is actually very good. The thing that whatever the minute things we are not understanding or we are not aware about it, we are with the help of Shanoy ma'am. Actually, we are getting into it. We are getting very into this deep.
See,
What?
I am telling you, anything you can ask me. I will not refer the source because many of my friends, many of my students who are passed out, they tell the same thing. If I search in Google, it takes time to give, but if I ask my sir, he will give instantly.
Yes, 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 sir. Yes, sir.
The presentation is also like that only. It is not from anywhere from the Google or any points which has been taken. I hate Google searching.
Right. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome, welcome, sure. Anybody else who want to give the input or feedback can give. No issues.
And we will be conducting many sessions gradually with
Yes,
Sir
yes.
when
No,
Sir
but
is available.
make sure that at least in one session I'll speak with the camera. Why? Because today I'm in a hotel and I'm using mobile as
Uh,
the network. Mobile net only I'm using. So that's the reason I could not switch on the camera because presentation was going on camera means some immediately the fluctuation will happen in the net. That's the reason I
yeah,
have not used. Don't think
that's,
that intentionally I'm doing this.
yes.
Another 10 minutes is there for our session. Okay, somebody has given some, I think some chats I'm getting now. Can you read it
Uh,
out, madam? Because I am not in a position to read here.
yes, let me read out all the chats I have received. Uh, Umaiza Fatima.
Those who can't tell,
Yeah, she has written, this is very good session. Thank you for precious time, sir. We have learned many things. And thank you so much. It was really informative session. I really appreciate your effort and hard work.
okay, fine. Any other things? I don't know because I'm not in the chat view here. Because if I keep everything on, the data will go down.
Shelly Sethi has written, thank you, sir. It's an amazing session. Jez has written the same informative session, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll put that in the YouTube also and share publicly. Your previous session also I will share publicly. so that everybody can be
Sure,
benefited.
you can share. So nothing wrong in sharing the knowledge. I don't
Uh,
tell that it is my presentation. I'll tell it is my knowledge, and my knowledge should be shared.
yes. And
Anyway, next
yes,
topic you can tell me well in advance because of the time schedule. Because today is a World
yes.
Tourism Day. That's the reason I'm little occupied.
Maybe in November, because I am going to start the internship program, online internship program, November to January, 3 months. So during that time, I will invite you to conduct sessions. It will be
Sure.
open for all, especially for the interns, on
Okay.
resume writing skill,
Yes,
on
yes.
which I want to conduct.
Resume, you want me to speak for 1 hour, I can speak. You want me to speak for 10 hours, I can speak. You want to speak for 60 hours, I can speak on resume writing because so much is there on resume writing.
Yes, resume writing and CV making.
This is
Hang on.
resume and CV is totally different. Father and mother. Both
Mhm.
makes parent, but mother is mother, father is father. Like that, resume is resume, CV is CV.
Yes, separately we will conduct. That will be open for all and especially for the interns, those who will be joining the PROLEARNZ internship. Uh,
Sure, sure.
so gradually we'll be coming out next Monday onwards. I'll start floating this internship applications and posters and all.
Sure, man.
So
No
during that time, I'd request you to conduct some
But you tell
sessions.
me well in advance, madam. That's it. To plan
Yeah.
my schedule. Huh?
One will be on resume
Okay.
writing, another will be that CV, how to build proper CVs. And yes,
No problem. No, I'll do that. Effectively, I will do it so that they'll
yes,
after that everybody should go back and prepare a new resume after this workshop. That
yes.
kind of
And
idea I
it is
will.
not only for the students, we all require to develop such kind of skills so that we can use it.
Ma'am,
Oh,
we also have it in this 12th standard CBSE curriculum, that job application and resume making.
yes,
So we can, though it
yes,
is,
yes.
yeah,
Actually, from class 9 onwards, the internship will start. For
okay,
school, class 9 to 12, because the sessions will be like this, like I have mentioned about resume writing or how to properly write the CV, like this personal branding, leadership development, some research work, and everything. So the students of class 9 onwards can join this internship, and it will be absolutely free and online, 100% online, so that after school hour or your university, it will be starting from class 9 onwards and will continue till post graduation students.
okay,
So
Somebody is
there will
asking
be
for
common workshops and something. There will be some research work they can conduct. Weekly works will be given, and then
okay.
final certification will be given. There will be some skill development skill badges or LOR, means letter of recommendation. That part will be
yeah,
optional and paid. If anybody want the skill badge, they have appear for some assessment or some particular workshops and letter of recommendation. Rest everything, the internship with 3 months internship with certification, completely free and 100% online. So
Many
that,
okay,
people
ma'am,
are
can
asking
we
for
join? Ma'am,
certificate.
can we join this one? You're
yeah,
telling that,
yeah, yeah. Okay, then I will create this
ma'am,
for professionals also. I will add the professionals also.
no,
Uh,
still we are the students. We are learning now, so still we can say we are considered as students only.
Yes, but I would request all the educators present here today to bring your students also,
Yeah,
because
definitely. No,
uh,
I guarantee from my side, my son himself is in 10th standard, so definitely it will be benefit for him. Plus, I'll be guiding other students also. Definitely, they'll be joining.
yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then undergraduate like BA, BSc, become
Okay,
BBA, BCA, whoever is doing, and also then in masters like MA, MSc, 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 MCom, then MBA, MCA. These will be the categories. But common workshops will be there for all the interns. And then I will add the professionals also, those who want to join. And okay. And it will be of 3 months. So it will be autumn, winter. Then in summer, we will conduct the summer internship like this way. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
yes, many more initiatives we will be taking up. Like as because sir is, I have found out sir who can conduct different kind of workshops for us.
Sure.
So
No issues. Any number of workshops, I am ready. Whatever is from my side, definitely for a better cause, I am there.
so thank you all for joining us tonight. And again, we will be coming out with another workshops. Thank you, sir, for conducting the workshops today.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, sure.